Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a little while, not just since the last stream, but since our last sports car stream. We're here for the final classic sports car race of the year, rounding out what's been an enjoyable year of these races. Started off with Riverside way back January or February. Then we had, what did we have after that? Then we had Kailami, and then we also had the 2.4R of Le Mans. But that was way back in June. So it has been about 4 months now, which is quite the while. But welcome, Marty. Welcome, Iris, if gap car. These sports cars are really difficult. We might not be going for gaps. But yes, we can head on. Welcome, welcome. Qualifying has just started. We'll start nearly 4 minutes ago. It is a what is it? It's 30 minutes long, so we have plenty of time. Just tweaking the setup for quali with the lower fuel. So just trying to get out of pit lane without impeding anyone. I think this is great track position. There seems to be a better spot a couple of cars back. Oh, as we have a car spinning off. But yeah, good gap here. No, you can very much lose if you take out all the competition. But yes, we are back for the classic sports cars. And unlike before, when we have been driving the Nissan R380, this time, got a bit unfortunate. Well, they did sign up with my first priority being the Nissan, and being my only priority. Unfortunately, did not get one of the Nissan slots, so instead we've been slotted into a Porsche 906E. The stats are relatively similar to the Nissan. It's the same power, but 10 kilos lighter. So theoretically, should be slightly quicker. Of course, that doesn't take into account any aerodynamic or chassis properties, how the car handles. But of course, we're not too fussed about that. We just want to have a good race, have some good battles. Like we've had at Kailami especially, good side by side with by half a lap. There is a short of that brilliant battle from Kailami on the channel. And of course there are the full streams. I did in the last week I did put them all together into a playlist. It's a short playlist, only 4 races. But they're all there, nice and easily to find. If you ever want to go back and watch any of them, whether just watching segment or full races. But yeah, today's format is very similar, is identical to what Kyalami was earlier this year. It's 250 kilometers, which equates to 43 laps around the classic Austria circuit, A1 ring, or now known as the Red Bull ring. This is specifically the 1970s, or 1970 I should say, version of it, which is pretty perfect for all the cars that we are running from the late 60s, mid to late 60s. As we head through turn 1, the old circuit sort of going behind the cluster of trees here. Up to this long right-hander. And then about here is where the hairpin is these days, as far as I can tell, for turn 3. If I head down to was turn 4, bit of a bigger kink in the track. Then this long right-hander, that grandstand still there today, but the corner much reprofiled. Before we come up to the 2 left-handers that are fairly similar to modern day. Through this right-hander, much trickier in these cars than it is on the modern track in modern cars. Then we come up to what would be the final 2 corners in modern day, but back in the day it was this long right-hander. As you can see, very little runoff for this track. So go be careful on this. Porsche is very difficult. Very difficult to get the balance between not having the car plow on and understeer into the barrier and not having the rear end just spin round on you. Especially when trying to pick up the throttle. Just to cover it, just like Kyalami just like Kyalami, not like Le Mans. It is a rolling start. Of course, Le Mans, we had a proper Le Mans start. As we head through qualifying here. We're about half a second up, or we're half a second up. Six and a half tenths up now as we head to the final corner. car turned in, but not have the rear end come too far round. Lost a bit of time in the mid-corner, but I got a good exit off the corner. That'll be a 57.5. Puts us P14 at the moment. Definitely a little bit of time in it. Oh. See what I mean by the rear end just going round. Car felt very well balanced through the corner, but then just on the exit, it stepped out a little too much. But yeah, it was kind of good speed through there. Can we take? We can't take a. I'm just gonna be safe. As we are gonna go out for another run. Not getting in the way of anyone this time. This car, I will say, is very difficult on the cool tyres. As you can see in the bottom left in the tyre app, the front tyres only having about 85% of their grip before they come up to some temperature and up to the optimal pressure. Don't have great track position here. How does it feel? Not too dissimilar to the Nissan. The architect of these cars is very similar to begin with. I would say the Porsche is a little bit more difficult. Feels a little easier to just lose the rear end and to spin the car, but that might just be inexperience. As the Nissan was also somewhat difficult in itself, but the more I drove the Nissan, the easier it got. But for the Porsche here, though, this is the first time I've been driving it. So we head on for another quali run. The tyres aren't quite up to pressure yet. Gotta be careful of the curbs. They do unsettle the cars quite a bit if you run over them. Especially when you've already got the cars on the limit of adhesion. Yeah, there's currently 28 people in the server for the race. I think there is one or two more to join, but they'll be joining after qualifying. But we are just about within the top half of the grid at the moment. Left lock up there. Oh yeah, it's a big handful. But it's nice to be able to use a round wheel for this. Of course, for all the races prior, oh, it just smacked the barrier. There's an invisible wall. Is invisible wall around most of the track. Car moving around so much. Just accelerating out of the pit box. When I was doing some quali practice yesterday, I managed to get a 57.3, I believe it was. Yeah, 57.31. Handy for it just to appear on the UI. So do have a little bit of time to find, but even if I did find that time, we wouldn't gain any positions. We have been dropped down to 15th now. Overtaking is going to be very difficult this race. Very difficult to make moves into corners, especially this long right-handers. That left-hand kick kind of makes things single file beforehand. Turn one, just had to take a little lift on the exit just to make sure we didn't run wide. But yeah, still bringing the tyres in for this run. Front right, it takes the longest with the lack of left-handers. Scooter through that second left-hander there, picked up a few tenths, showing what potential there is. Yeah, here we go for another lap. 400s down through turn 1. Just lifted a slight bit too much. Didn't get a good exit. Ferrari tried to get a move done before the left-hander, but just compromised their line and ran them into the grass, of which they then weren't able to stop. Was unfortunately kind of ruined our lap. A little bit of a lock up there again. Ooh, 57.4 put on the board by someone. That is a good target to try and beat. Good exit out of the final corner to start another lap. A little bit wide. Yeah, not good turn 1. Cost us a 10th and a half. Not making up any time through turn 2, or at least what I'm calling turn 2. We can call this turn 3. And turn 4, the rear end stepping out so much. Just about hold on to it. Can get the power down nicely. Just tried to pick up the throttle and car wasn't having it. Not long left to go in the session. Just over 4 minutes. We're going to get 2 more laps. Fortunately, we're going to be like 10 seconds shy of getting a third. Not like I don't have quite have the feel for a third. Not great exit out of the final corner either. But what matters is the run through turn 1. Just a big slide. Yeah, it doesn't look like this lap is gonna be the one. But one more attempt. get that front right. Up to a little bit higher in terms of temperature and pressure. It's just a little low. But very difficult to load up the front right without having the rear end just step around. I have the final corner to start one more lap. Little bit of understeer, so I had to lift. Could have been a little bit braver in hindsight, had a little margin to the barrier on the outside. Gonna just try and carry a bit more speed through turn 2. Straighten the car up somewhat, get the power down on the exit. Half a tenth down. Car's not really gripping up. Gotta just put the foot down. Yeah, 2 tenths down now. It's not looking good. Good left-hander there. Oh, I just clipped the grass on the inside. I was trying to open up that corner as much as I could. Yeah, 10th in the final sector. I didn't complete that lap, so I don't know what the sectors are for it. It's a tricky car. And yeah, I got to put the suspension back up. So let's see. They improved anyway to 56.9, which I don't think I had in me. There is one Porsche 906, 55.6s. I don't know. I don't know how to be that quick. There is. I did actually learn something in the run-up to this race. On a Assetto Corsa, when you're driving manual H-pattern gearboxes, cars like these, it is actually faster to have a manual H-pattern in your setup. The use of flappy paddles like this one is slower. The shifts are just a little bit slower. I don't think that's quite like nearly 2 seconds pace, but it is a little bit. We have beat two of the other Porsches by a second. And there is one a little further back, struggling to get under the 2-minute mark. So yeah, 5 Porsche 906s in the field. We're currently second best. So yeah, we have a little bit of downtime. We'll go onto the grid in a minute, and then I think we'll have a further 3 minutes on the grid before the formation lap will begin. We'll have one formation lap before we get into the 43 lap race. So yeah, in the end, we're the only car in the 57s for qualifying. Hopefully that's not foreshadowing of the race, and hopefully we will find a good fun battle. Of course, race pace can easily be different to quali pace. You know, there could be someone further behind that just doesn't get the maximum potential out of the car, but in a longer run over the race has a bit more pace compared to everyone else, or there could be someone that absolutely perfect lap in quali but really struggles to put good laps in consistently. So hopefully that is the case. So, they'll check of the setup. It's not my setup, the person that has the 55's shirt. It was very similar to the one I was working on. I don't know if the suspension is a little bit different. Doesn't feel too different. Yeah, again, final few cars that missed qualifying into this server. So we will have a grid of 31 cars. Porsche 904, Nissan R380, and then Isogriffo. Don't know if they will be cars that'll be able to catch up to us and challenge us. We'll have to see during the race. But yeah, one final check. Yeah, we do have tires and fuel. As you can tell, we are going for a no-stop strategy. There's no mandatory pit stops. You can run from start to finish if you want to, like we did at Kailami. But some cars, I believe, might have to be making a pit stop. And some cars might decide just to take tyres, given tyre wear over 43 laps. There's a lot of quite a lot of medium long corners too. That will punish the tyres. So as we head out on the formation lap, it will be a single file start. Just trying to do a bit of brake warming. Any bit of temperature is going to help. The conditions are very cool. As you can see at the bottom, 11 ambient, 13 track temp. Much lower than a lot of the races we usually do on Assetto Corsa. So that isn't helping the tyres in terms of having them start at a good temperature. Some chilly morning air indeed. But we have got some temperature into the tyres. They're not 11 degrees, they're up over 30 now. As we're getting ready for the start. And here we go. Very fast start for these races. Take it a little bit easy into turn one. See a couple of cars side by side in front. Bunches them up, loses the momentum. They will try and carry through the first corner. Careful for any people spinning on the opening lap. Very short screen freeze there. Give me a little worry, but we're through cleanly. The Porsche, like the Nissan, not the greatest in a straight line. Drop back a little bit from the cars in front, but we'll hopefully be able to close up through the rest of the lap. As it gets a little more technical, you can see the Ford in front running on the curb. Oh, big slide from the Ford. Got into the Ferrari a little bit, or what I think is a Ferrari, but managed to save it from going for a spin. They're trying to come back past us with their straight line speed. Ooh, little bit of bumper to bumper contact. Can't quite hold it round the outside, get into the slipstream. Side by side up into T1, further in front. Just playing it safe through turn one, just a little touch of the brakes. But yeah, losing touch from the cars in front, unfortunately. Forward into the outside wall. Try and see if we could get to the inside here, which we just about do. Wasn't sure if they were going to close the door or not. The acceleration though pulls them back in front. We're going to go for the outside here. Putting a lot of trust into the Ford. And we do get that move done. But will only be temporarily. We get kind of more momentum than the Ford out of was the penultimate corner. And it isn't close enough to make a move into the final corner this time. But as we come around to start another lap, it's this sort of opening section, as like with modern Austria that has the straights, where the straight line speed of the Ford will just pull it back in front. But you see how much more speed we can carry through turn one before the grunt of that GT40 pulls it back ahead. We'll get a little bit more slipstream though. See how much more speed we're able to carry through the corner. Get a little bit of slipstream before the Ford just pulls so far in front that we won't be getting any for the second half of the straight. Still not too far behind the Ford, but they didn't make a mistake this lap. So we're a little further back. Ford will be wanting to turn its attention to the cars in front, fighting side by side. See how much we close in again. We're just a little too far off to make a move. We are a little bit quicker than some of the cars in front of the GT40, but they have been fighting a lot. Oh, GT40 again, very close to the outside wall. Carried a little bit more speed through turn one. We'll still lose out the top end as we don't get as much slipstream. Yeah, the blue and red car, a couple of cars in front having a really good battle. Plenty of side-by-side action. And that has allowed us to close in a little bit. I feel when if they're not fighting, those two cars probably have a little bit more pace than I do, unfortunately. So when that battle comes to an end, which it's looking like it might do, though the blue car is starting to come back. And it is coming back actually down the inside into the second left-hander here. So it seems like two cars very similar on pace, but how they get that pace is completely different. The red car faster on the straights, but the blue car faster in the corners. But they're starting to run consistent times in the low 58s. You see the red car trying to come back. It's looking to the inside of the right-hander. But won't be able to get that move done. Get in front, and it's now coming under pressure from the GT40. Yeah, the red car trying to get in front of the blue car. Does so, but only very briefly. The blue car back down the inside. And it looks like the blue car will be able to take a more solid claim to that position. As the red car comes under a bit more pressure from the Ford, will certainly come under more pressure when we get to the straights again after the final corner. Good end to the lap, gets us a couple of tenths. Maybe I can see more of the cars in front getting into the 57s. Which I think we will be able to do this race, but not for another few laps once we've burned off a little bit more fuel. There was a yellow flag out. Car started to step away there. 6.5 second lead to the car behind. I believe we still have two of the fellow Porsche 906s behind. That's a little sketchy coming into the corner there. Car moving around in the braking zone. Look at the tower, 0.08 on the rear left, the most worn tyre. I think tyre wear really starts to kick in at 0.5. So we're looking good for tyre wear at the moment. Now, one of the things you have to remember, being in the middle of the field, the quicker cars from the field seems to be lapping 3 to 4 seconds a lap quicker than we are. and another they'll slide into turn 4. I don't know how much slower the back of the field is, but we'll likely get lapped by some of the front runners. And we will probably lap some of the lower end cars, especially if they end up making any mistakes. Timing board just glitching out for the moment. Hang on, turned in a little bit too early, gone to the curb. Could become an interesting battle when some of the cars just in front of us pit. They're not that much quicker than us. So if any of them do pit, we could likely come out in front of them. They'll close up and maybe pass us. But yeah, it could be a good battle for later on in the race. Now 5 seconds behind the cars in front, 10-second gap to the cars behind. We're up on our delta, messed up that right-hander a bit. bad line through there. Don't feel like there's any reason to push. Flat out try and perfect every lap the best I can. You know, I can see all the cars in front of me can lap about a second quicker. And while I probably could just about get into the 57s if I did push, I'd be really risking just making a mistake and dropping seconds. So about a quarter of the way into the race now. Yellow flag just in front. I got some understeer second half of the corner there. Yeah, consistency definitely will be the best bet. If I can just save the tyre a little bit, not slide it as much, could be useful towards the end of the race should we find ourselves in any sort of battle. We've had one person drop out, so we're down to 30 people. Good run through turn one. Didn't feel perfect, but was close to perfect. Gonna be a 10th and a half up when we get to turn 4. So good start to this lap. Good run through turn 4 and we're 3.5 tenths up now. Finding a bit more pace. 4 tenths up as we get to the final corner. Not a great run through the final corner, a little bit wide and could have carried a bit more momentum on the exit. They'll still be our first 57 of the race. That was a pretty good lap. Certainly nailed the, well, didn't nail, but pushed the limits a bit more through the first half of the lap. Got a good balance. Better exit from the final corner than we had on that previous lap, showing that, yeah, there was just a little bit more potential in it. Wide there. Yeah, we're nearly at the point of having a 10-second gap in front and a 20-second gap behind. Really hoping that some people make some pit stops. Quite a bit of understeer mid-corner. Had good speed in, but then, yeah, the car just picked up understeer. compromised the exit a little bit. Yellow flags, I see first car that we're coming up to lap. So I assume the yellow is for them. Another little screen freeze. Picked up time in the final corner, so it will be a new personal best, 57.7. And that's a good run through turn one, not carrying quite as much momentum on the exits as the previous lap, but gaining time through the middle of the corner. They're just sliding the car a little bit more through the corner to avoid the understeer that we picked up. Probably shouldn't have shifted down to second there, but just scrubbed off some momentum with a bad line on the curb. So 10th and a half up into the final corner. A little bit of understeer mid-corner. Posted a little bit wide. Came back for the exit. Dropped it a little bit over a 10th, but still new personal best. Practically drifting the whole way through turn one that time. That's not good for that time, nor is it good for the tyres. Welcome, Jesse. Good to see you. We're currently 17 laps into this race. Unfortunately, we've kind of found ourselves in no man's land. We've got up to our first back marker. And I want to say that's a Lotus. Get up the inside here into the first left-hander. See how much time we lost through that final corner on our fastest lap a couple of laps ago. The times the cars are doing up front, they must be pushing hard. It's hard to say. We're stepping out quite a bit through turn 2. But yeah, of course, much like all the races this year, there's a big variety in the cars. We've got Ferrari 330s, Ford GT40s, from Mark 1s, Mark 2s and Mark 4s. So while we were fighting a Mark 1 or Mark 2 a little earlier in the race, the newer GT40s, the Mark 4, has all the speed of the Mark 2 or Mark 1, but a little better handling, so it's much further up the field. The Ferrari 330 is much further up the field too. I believe it might be a 330 that's actually in the lead of the race. Could run through the final corner, and it's going to be a new personal best, only by a couple of hundredths. Still in 57.7s. I've just noticed the leader has come up on the relative. Still about 40 seconds behind us. That does help demonstrate the gap we have to the cars behind. Are catching up to another back marker. But on that point of all the cars being different, of course the Porsche is quite light. It's 580 kilos if I remember correctly, with 220 horsepower. The Nissan, same 220 horsepower, but 590 kilos. Whereas some of the other cars are going to be a little bit heavier, much more power too. You know, and they're going to slide around on their tires more, wear them out more. Just have to be patient here. We were on another good lap. I think I know what's gonna happen here. I think we're a little bit quicker than this car that we're lapping in the corners, but I think they're gonna be faster than us on the straights, judging by how they pulled away from us coming up to the final corner. Hopefully they will just back off before T1, thankfully. And we should be able to carry enough speed through turn 1. Oh, way behind. Oh, they collect the wall on the outside. I don't know if they just wanted to carry a bit more speed in following us. It was like, oh, I'll try and carry as much speed as that Porsche through T1. Forgetting that, yeah, they don't quite have the agility that we do. Just noticed we have a 25 seconds. Yeah, they tried to match our cornering pace. Which, if you're just in a car that's a bit heavier, don't have the same experience, it's gonna be impossible. No point trying to sugarcoat it, it's just gonna be completely impossible. We're on for another good lap here, bit per through the second left-hander. Two-tenths up coming to the final corner. Pretty even through the final corner, did lose a few hundredths. Will be a new personal best, 57.5. We're getting closer in times to the cars in front. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's been any pit stops made throughout the field at all, just yet. Though if anyone is wanting to pit this race, they may be doing it soon, since we are coming up to the halfway mark. As you would have seen in qualifying, there is no pit lane speed limit. So that does help keep the, minimize the time lost. But these pit stops aren't quick for these classic cars. 10th up coming into the final corner. Trying to balance the car, got a little too sideways. Trying to get the power down, but it's going to be a 57.4. Car in front also set personal best last lap into the 56s for them, but we have been closing in on them a little bit. That's the most comfortable I felt through turn 1 all race, and you can see that on the Delta, gaining 2/10 as we get up to turn 2. Couple of more cars to lap in front of us. 30-second gap to the car behind. So the car in front could have just been losing some time lapping cars as well. Rear end wanting to slide around to the pit part. I know it's a 9-second gap, sorry, to the car in front. Misread the timing board in the top left. Bit per through the first left-hander. Try and get down the inside here. Leave us the room. Well, get that move done did cost us a bit of time. Nearly half a second. good run through turn 1. Certainly becoming easier as the fuel burns off. The car gets lighter. The tyres aren't wearing just yet. The tyres, I think, will start to drop off slightly in the final 5-ish laps of the race, judging by the numbers I'm seeing on the tyre app in the bottom left. Sliding out wide a bit through the middle of turn 4, costing us a bit of time. A little bit of a front left lock up, compromising our run into the second left-hander. Then a slide coming into this right-hander to just putting us slightly out of position. Also, I believe our personal best this race is faster than our quali lap. Do have one car into the pits, so just seen on the relative. Just taking a little cautiously through T1. I didn't know how fast the car in front was going to be. And the last thing you want to do is have to step on the anchors. Car slowing. That is for position, that's the GT40. And it looks like they had to return to the pits, teleport to the pits. So either they forgot they needed to pit for fuel, or they hit the wall on the outside and really damaged the car. We were too far back to see if they did have a crash. That does though mean we have a 15-second gap now to the car in front. Yeah, they're still in the pits, you can see them on the relative. Yeah, there was no yellow flag, but as you've seen, that wall on the left-hand side of the track isn't far off the track. You know, so they could have hit the wall there and then just coasted down the track. Because for Assetto Corsa, it only shows a yellow flag if there is a car off the track. So we don't know for certain. Again, the rear end just trying to step out a bit, putting down the power out of turn 4. Good run through the second left-hander. Giving us a bit of time on Delta. They'll slide through the right-hander. Those cost us a bit of that time back. Big slide through the final corner, but came back for a good exit. We'll improve our personal best down to 57.3. No, none of the cars behind us for position have even gone to the 58s for their best lap. A little bit wide through turn 1. It's coming up to 24th to lap them. Good exit out of turn 2. Leader now only 15 seconds behind us, so they should catch us in about 4 or 5 laps. Of course, they've been losing a bit of time behind back markers. Yellow flag out, though, is withdrawn. Bit of a poor run through turn 4. I can't follow the car in front, a little bit wide. Nearly lost the car on the grass. Looks like someone has made a mistake. Looks like it's the car in 23rd. Yellow flag was out for quite a while, and we're much closer to them than we previously were. There is a car in the pit lane, they're down in 29th. Look how much more speed we carry through T1. Gives us an easy move on the run towards turn 2. I think one of the cars in front of us has made a mistake or got caught up with traffic, as we're now only about 12.5 seconds back from the next car in front for position. That was a 15-second gap, and it was to a different car. Yeah, there has been a change of position in front. Big lock up into the final corner. That Corvette is loud, but it sounds good. Oh, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for them to just be suddenly heavy braking. I should have expected it a little bit more. of course, Chevy with that much grunt in the straight line is going to struggle a bit into T1. Going to have to slow down somewhat. They probably also wanted to try and let us through before T1. Possibly. So yeah, apologies to them. The leader now just 3 seconds away behind us. So we will be lapped on the next lap. We're now on lap 30 of 44, or 29.43 if you discount the formation lap. See the leader behind us now in the rear view mirror. Big slide into turn 4. Lockup dragging me wide. Leaders should get through here before the final corner, which they do. Get a good view of the Ferrari. Car off. That'll be another car that we lapped up to 22nd now, with 21st just a few seconds up the road, entering T1 now. You just see some flames out of the exhaust of the car that we're about to lap. I want to say I have a idea of what that car might be, but I'm really not confident, so I'm not going to take the guess. Lots of flames. For braking for this right-hander. Well, might be another Ferrari. Get round the outside here. It'll give us the inside for left-hander here, and we do get through. Yeah, it could be a 250. Second now coming on to the relative. "24-second gap between first and second." Yeah, it doesn't look like many of the cars directly in front of us are pitting. "250 GT bread fan." For a good lap now. Jumping sometime through the left-hander. Second left-hander, oh, big slide through the right-hander there. Just a little shy of setting a new personal best. 10 laps to go, remembering that we have been lapped. Yeah, looks like the next car will be coming across. Will either be next car we lap in P20, which I believe will be another one for the Porsche 906s, or when we get lapped by second place. flag in front was brief. Big slide from the rear end. I will say, now that we've got into this sort of after the first quarter of the race, we found a little bit of pace. We haven't dropped too much time to the cars in front. The gaps are opened up to 15-ish seconds. Feels like it's kind of stabilized there. Of course, we lost a bit of time with the Chevy. Rear left might just be starting to give up a little bit. Car is sliding around a little bit more now. Car behind sending personal best. Still not got into 58s. Another yellow flag. That's a car for position. They've gone lawn mowing around Austria. They just get back on the road and get going again before we catch up to them. Only a 2-second gap now. That has potentially knocked their confidence though. 209.1, so losing about 12 seconds that lap. Wonder if they're maybe starting to struggle a little bit on the tyres. Also, one point out, looking at the standing boards on the leaderboard on the top left. A couple of cars very close to getting into the 56s with their personal bests. 57.022, and then next car 57.009. Don't get much closer to getting a sub 57 without actually getting a sub 57. Big slide for the red car in front. Red car very timid into the left-hander here. You can see even I was a little timid compared to my Delta. But we do know that red car in front of us struggles a bit with cornering ability, but has good straight line speed. Just could get to the inside of them, but you see on the exit how much they just pull away. Could have been brave, definitely could have been much braver through turn 1. Being much braver could have just got me in the slipstream a little bit more, which would have helped on the run up to turn 2 here. See how much they're struggling to put the power down. The car moving all over the place. on the road, which means we do get a little bit of slipstream out of turn 2. Go see it again. Riker just moving around. Got a yellow flag. See how much quicker we are. We can just sneak down the inside. A little deep into second left-hander though. We'll see here coming into the final corner. Riker's going to close up. They're not going to quite be close enough. Oh, just tagging the wall. Does compromise our momentum. I think the red car would have been past us anyway, but it does just cost us a little bit more to get into slipstream for the run towards turn 2 this time. Just gonna sneak up the inside here, which just slightly compromises their line. Means we're that little bit closer when we get to the middle part of the lap here, the more technical part that we're faster in. See how much we close in on the brakes. Through the right-hander here. Had to lift off the throttle just to make sure we didn't drive into the back of them. Red car a little bit wide. Oh, no. I just lost the rear end. Went to save it, saved it, but then lost it again. Going the other way. Fortunately, that's gonna drop us back. I was starting to enjoy that battle. Now it's all over. Back into no man's land. Little wide in turn 1. Funny enough, after the spin, the tyres are a little bit colder now because we spent that time just stationary and not pushing the tyres or loading it up through the corners. Does look like that red car is struggling for pace now though. Just being lapped by second place. See the tire marks showcasing the story. I'm a little bit wide here. just locked the inside tire, struggling to get the car back on the track without spinning it. So yeah, 2:01 for the red car in front. Lost 4 seconds, but unfortunately we also lost that time. We were still 3 times quicker. Oh, don't run wide here. Oh, I have. Luckily the damage is turned down to 40% on the server, so those couple of knocks on the walls that we've had so far aren't going to give us significant damage, as there's a yellow flag. I think it is that red car. They are dropping down. They've lost a place to one of the cars that they lapped. We'll have 3 laps to go at the end of this lap. You can see them just in the distance there. If we get our head down, we could maybe get 1 position here. We are also going to have some cars coming up to lap us as well. See them in front. Gap by 3.5 seconds coming onto the straight. Of course, that's going to fluctuate with the straights and corners through the first half of the lap. Then we'll hopefully be able to close it in through the second half. Sure we don't run wide this time. Do have a couple of cars in front that we might lap before the end of the race too. See, we're within 2 seconds actually coming out of turn 2. .206 for the car in front last lap. They're really struggling. I bet they're regretting now not pitting for fresh tyres. Oh, I just locked up. Come on. Both fronts just locked up there. Two laps to go. Hopefully we don't get held up here by the GT43 turn 1. You can see how much we're closing in. We'll get a bit of slipstream on the exit to sort of help compensate. I basically need a mistake from the red car in front. It's like they are struggling to set sub 2-minute lap times, but that last mistake has dropped me too far back. If they don't make another one, I'll just be too far back. Yellow flag's out. That's not for the car that we're trying to chase down for position. I mean, they could make a mistake now. They are in sort of a gaggle of cars, lapping a couple of people, but also being lapped by a couple of others. This will be the final lap of the race. Oh, understeer through T1. Can see 4 cars in front just going into T2 now. I think the red car we're trying to chase down is at the front of that pack. The gap is certainly coming down, but yeah, just too far back. Can just see them in the distance going into second left-hander now. Couple of cars fighting for position here over 26th and 27th. Contact between them. Just sneak up the inside. And yeah, there is the checkered flag. Though I don't think a lot of people have quite realised. Ah, that's frustrating. The frustrating part isn't losing out on the position, it's just I spent so much of that race alone. Yeah, that was a good save from them. It's just full opposite luck and pray, pretty much. Yeah, but the frustrating part of that isn't losing out on the position, it's spending the whole race alone, no one to fight, and then as soon as I get into a good battle, making that mistake and then finding myself by myself again. Yeah, that's frustrating. Another lap or two, and we might have had that position anyway. Ferrari F330, 1, 2, 3, then GT40 Mark IIs, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then Porsche 906 in 7th. Yeah, it's never going to match that. Then Mark 1 2XJs in 9th and 10th. Another Mark 1 in 11th. Chevron B8 in 12th. Another Mark 1 in 13th. The Maserati 151 that we were fighting with at the end in 14th. We then fish ahead of another 906, an R380, Chevron GT, Chevron B8, Chevron 906 that we were catching up to lap towards the end. Another R380, two 904s, Shelby Daytona, those 47. ISO, Griffo, Porsche 904, the Corvette that we had that incident with. Another GT40 Mark 1, the one that was in front of us that we were battling at the start of the race, slowed down. Another Maserati 151, and final 906 that didn't finish. So that is the order. Yeah. Yeah, not a Ferrari 250. Thought was. But yeah, just waiting for the results to come up for me to save the replay. You thought might have been a Daytona? Yeah. I mean, cars are so old. Yeah, it's similar shape to Shelby Daytona. Yeah, and I think Shelby Daytona has been in a couple of these previous races throughout the year. I'm thinking Riverside at the start of the year might have included a couple. But yeah, that's so long ago, I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm currently thinking it is just coming up to 8:30. We haven't done a WRC stream this week, so we haven't. And there is an event I need to do before the end of Sunday. I'm thinking we might do a bit of WRC tonight as well. But I think I'm going to take a little break and about a 15-minute break, let's say. And then return with WRC. Set up a new stream for it so it can be in the right playlist and have all the settings, the game settings correctly set. So yes, we'll end off Assetto Corsa there. Yeah, yeah, figured the afternoon streams. But yeah, we'll end off Assetto Corsa there. Fun race, shame. Well, a fun to drive car. Nothing really happened that race. Frustrating at the end that the good battle, our own mistakes. At least it was our own mistakes and not being taken out. We did have that moment with the Chevy, but not much happened from that. So won't get too annoyed over that. So yeah, I'll end this stream here. I'll take a 15-minute break. I'll set up, quickly make a thumbnail and set up a new stream to start in about 15 minutes. So about quarter to 9 local time, and we'll figure out a couple of, at least do one club event, maybe two. So yeah, I mean, main thing, didn't make any mistakes outside of those battles. That's something to be happy with. Yeah, in practice, I could barely string 10 laps together without making a mistake eventually, though I was pushing a little bit more for lap times at those points in the race. I kind of seen, yeah, I could push for lap times, but it's not going to make me quicker than the cars in front of me, so it'd be pointless. So yeah, we'll end the stream here. Thanks, Jesse, Iris, and Artie for being here. Hopefully, we'll see you in 15-ish minutes for some WRC. And yes, make sure to go get a drink, get hydrated, stay hydrated, take care of yourselves. Maybe a little snack too during the break. And yeah, I'll hopefully see you all soon again. So yeah, see you soon.